Well, hello, Bob Dandry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, where we are building our as-yet unnamed American railroad company. So last episode, we started up with these two sort of crude oil lines and also a line taking oil over to our fuel refinery. And as always with Transport Fever 2, early game can be a bit of an issue, especially when you're starting at 1850, because your capacities are low, so it's hard to get those economies of scale. With that in mind, I think it's time for us to jump into getting the final leg of this initial fuel network setup. And that's going to involve getting some lovely fuel over to Thousand Oaks. That'll help the town grow, and it is also going to get us, hopefully, a little bit of extra money in the door as well. So let's have a look and get started. So first of all, we're going to need a road depot, which we'll probably place in the town because we can also use that for some, public transport once we sort of get that far. And from there, we'll need a truck station over here. And we should be fine with just a unload station. That should cover the whole town, or the whole, in terms of, getting fuel. Actually, I've changed my mind. We're going to put a truck station in, because then we can have them easily turn around and get out of there. So we'll join that up sort of right here. Probably only need one platform, but we're going to have a longer station so we can have more trucks lining up there should they need to. I think I just placed that down somewhere random. I sure did. So we'll get this one placed down, and then we'll get rid of that. Perfect. Question is, can we actually afford any trucks right now? Which I'm not 100% sure we will be able to. Oh, easy. So we can get some horse-drawn carriages which can go 18 kilometers an hour. Nice. And, what are we going to do? We've got a capacity of 4. Let's try 5 of these guys, and then we'll get them set up with a brand new line. And let's just get this running, and we'll see how we do in terms of getting some profit from these horse-drawn carriages, hopefully. Because, running a train this distance, I just don't think it's going to work. At least not right now with the network set up the way it is. Maybe down the line a bit, potentially. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just jump in and upgrade to some trucks, I guess, when the time comes to do that. Alright, and we've got our first horse-drawn carriage coming into our unload spot, and let's see how much we get. It's not bad. They don't cost a lot to run. So, I think that'll slowly get us in, a little bit of income. Hopefully, anyway. Alrighty, and things are progressing, honestly, pretty slowly. But we're going to keep working on this network. What I'm thinking we're going to do is extend our double track, probably all the way, sort of, to both ends of this main trunk. That will allow increased throughput in terms of our trains, and hopefully should allow us to get our trains in and out just that little bit quicker. Which will also, obviously, hopefully increase our profitability a little bit as well. Just quickly pause. And we will hopefully make a nice smooth connection here. Apparently not, because we are not snapping, are we? Let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll, I'll allow it. Oh, and you need to fix your life there, my friend. I need to just turn around for a sec. Oh no. Alright, we can fix this. Alright, turn around, my friend. You should be good to go now. And now we're out of cash. Okay. Alrighty, and we've been doing a lot of sitting around doing not much because we're waiting for cash to come in. But I think we've hit the time where we should start planning our next connection, and it will be between Thousand Oaks and Reno. And we do have another oil well here we can utilize as well. So where is going to be the best way for us to get through this? I would imagine probably right near where our oil refinery is, and I would say that because right there it's the most direct route. It's a fairly small tunnel we'll need to make, but we could also sort of go around and through this very short part or all the way around. So let's have a look and see, I guess, what sort of expenses we're looking at to do that. So if we just punch all the way through, 4 mil through here, still 900k. So that's probably the answer we want, or the answer we needed to I guess come to the decision of getting, as that we're going to be going around because we sure as hell cannot afford to go through at this point. It's going to take a little while, obviously, because this is going to be an expensive project, but it seems like we're pretty much maybe a third of the way there, so I'm pretty happy with that so far. Alrighty, so we've made our connection now between Thousand Oaks Fuel Refinery and the town of Reno, which will be accepting fuel from there. Now, right now, probably our main focus is going to be getting enough cash to be able to actually put a fuel train into production. Potentially, we might actually need to cut down some of our fuel horses, just so we can get a good spread of some fuel going into Thousand Oaks, which is actually developing a hell of a lot since we started, and fuel going over to Reno as well, which will probably be quite a big money maker for us. So we'll just let it run for a little while, let us, gather up a little bit of cash, and then we'll look to put a train into position there to help us out. Alright, we got a bit of cash, not a massive amount, but we're on our way to having some money. So let's have a look and sort of price out what our next train is going to be. So it will be our fuel train that will be going to Reno, so it does need to run a long distance. With that in mind, I was looking at the 280, the Baldwin, but if we look at the price there, it's quite steep, isn't it? Which means we'd still have a lot of saving to do before we could get over there. So a potential middle ground I was thinking we could look at is we buy another the General, we start to load it up with fuel. Cars, and then once we've got a little bit of profit out of that, we can potentially look to upgrade it to the Baldwin and actually shift the General onto one of our existing trains, which are still running the old 6-wheelers. That's what I'm thinking. We're still not quite there. I want to maybe have probably towards 1.5, 1.6 million so we can actually get a decent amount of carriages on it, but that's what I'm thinking we're probably going to be aiming at. 1.5, that'll do it for me, I think. So let's get a General on here and let us get as many tank cars as we can afford, which is going to be 5. Perfect, let's get it on the line and get it going. Alrighty, and we've got our first fuel shipment arriving in Reno. It's not a massive shipment, I think it's about 27 units, but we'll, I guess, get an indication of what this route's going to be like. And that is, ooh, that is nice. That was, I think, 27 units and we got 330,000 from it, so that is perfect. That's what we want to see. And hopefully we should be able to boost fuel production over here to better take advantage of that. Let's have a look and see. So we've only got 16 fuel waiting right now. That indicates that we're probably not getting enough oil back in or back over here to produce this. I have just upped the length of this train here, I believe. Not this one. This one? Maybe. Oh god, I hope it wasn't this one. No, never mind. So I have just upped to the length of this train here. Obviously you can see because these have not been used for crude oil before. So that should allow us to just bump up the oil production enough that hopefully we can get our oil train to be able to pretty much run back and forth and not have to stop and wait. So as you can see, there's only 86 oil there now, and the capacity of this one is 98. So he's probably going to be sitting over here at the station until this guy here comes over and dumps his crude oil in there, which isn't ideal. It's not the most efficient way we could do this. So we want to keep trying to bump up the length of these crude oil trains just bit by bit until we get that nice balance where we're actually producing enough or bring in enough crude oil to be able to have our oil train just running back and forth with no delays or anything like that. So I'll probably up the length of both of those crude oil trains by one more carriage each and see how we do with that. Alrighty, so I've just been having a chill, letting this run for a little while, and we have got 1.7, which will give us enough to upgrade to a 280. So let's have a look through and have a look at this. So we only need a bit over 1. It'll take our max speed up to 60, increase our power and tractive effort, significantly from what we're getting with the General. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this, and then we'll pop the General back down as a new vehicle. We'll hit the modify button. And I forgot that I actually removed the depot when I was doing some modification of the route while I was waiting, and forgot to put a depot back in. So what we will need to do then is get a new depot. Okay, fixed. And what we're going to do as well, we're going to switch over our oil train here to utilize the General. Which hopefully, no, we're not going to have enough money for. But that is okay. We just need to wait just for another load of oil to come in, and then we'll be able to make that change. Alright, so... Okay, so we've got the money in hand now, so we will get this switched over. So we'll say goodbye to this 6-wheeler, and we will get the General on this train. We've also unlocked the Mogul now as well, which is unfortunate since we just, bought the 280. But it is what it is. So this will, what are you doing? Okay. That was an interesting one there. But yeah, so that will allow us to obviously be accelerating a little bit easier with this oil train, and that should help the network itself quite a bit. We've also just had our fuel train that's just that has just dropped off at Reno and has brought in almost $1 million. So yeah, in a really good position now financially. We will be able to increase the size of this fuel train significantly. Probably what we could consider as well, which will probably be our next step, is actually getting a second train heading in, one of these directions, probably to Roseville, I would think. And yeah, we'll probably need to add a passing loop in here as well, just to service that. I think that's what's going to be our next sort of our next steps. That will pretty much mean that this will be self-sufficient. It will run itself. We'll probably just need to slightly increase the length of our oil train, and then we're all good to go, and we can start looking at what's next, which probably is going to be a line from Reno to Thousand Oaks and then probably onto Roseville as well, because that makes sense. It's a nice easy connection. We've got most of our track already laid down for it, so it's not going to take too much effort to get that to happen. Well, I will tell you what, it's been some very hard going. This has been, I think, the most challenging start to the game that I've had, so I think I've obviously done something wrong here, but we are starting to slowly make it work, and I think from next episode we're probably going to be fairly good with doing a lot more time building and a lot less time waiting around, which is why this one is probably quite short compared to what you're probably used to in terms of Transport Fever 2 videos, but I think we're going to leave it there for this video. One thing I do want to do before we finish off completely is we need to name our railroad company, which we didn't last week. And what I think we're going to do is we're going to name it for what will be our sort of first 3 towns that we're going to be servicing. So we're going to call it the Reno, Thousand Oaks and Roseville Railway, or RTO&R. What do you think? Probably a little bit of a mouthful, but I think it makes sense to sort of name it in that fashion, which is, I guess, quite typical of those sort of earlier US railroads. They were quite often named after the towns that they serviced. So that's what we're going to be called, and that's going to be about it for this week. So if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. Let me know what you've enjoyed the most about watching this, what you're excited to see, and what you want me to work on a little bit more. You can find a link to my social media in the description, so please get on there, like, follow, do all that wonderful stuff. Also a big shout out to Twitch. If you've got Twitch, please get on there, give me a follow, helps me out a lot. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.